Evil Hunter mod. Years ago, your son vanished, which is the kind of opening line you expect from a Stephen King novel, not the description of a Minecraft mod you just installed. The kid was into occult stuff, old rituals, symbols he copied into his notebooks with disturbing precision. Then he started rebuilding all of it in Minecraft, went into his room one evening to play, and by morning, he was just gone. You moved, you tried to forget, you did the whole process the unprocessable thing. Then while unpacking years later, you find an old unmarked hard drive in a box you don't remember sealing, and there's exactly one file on it, a Minecraft world, the last thing you had of him. Curious, you load it, and the second you spawn in, a book appears in your hands written in handwriting you almost recognize. Something starts pulling you forward into a silent, empty world toward a ritual circle with a block in the middle that has no name and no texture from any version of Minecraft you've ever seen. And you touch it, because of course you do. What follows is 23 named horror events designed to make your life genuinely unpleasant. Reality seems to be warping around you all throughout the game, and in later phases, the world's actual terrain starts getting replaced with flesh blocks. So the mod was not kidding about the body horror disclaimer. A doppelganger of your own character roams around your base without ever attacking you, which is somehow worse than if it just attacked you. A crying woman shows up entirely separate from the boss fight, just to round things out, and then the hunter itself. An unkillable entity that breaks through doors, silently corrupts your inventory, moves faster than you can run, and has a detection range so large it can find you anywhere in the loaded world. But when you finally beat it, the closing message reads, "It is done, but you felt it all was fake." Verity. There's a long tradition in horror of making the most innocent-looking thing into a monster, and Verity is essentially just that. You spawn into the world, open a shaking cardboard box, and out pops a small smiling yellow ball that introduces itself as your personal helper friend who knows everything. And it does mean everything. It knows your name, where you live, what biome you're in, and creepy specifics like the fact that you always keep your food in the same hotbar slot. For the first couple of in-game days, it's actually helpful, telling you where villages are, giving you survival tips, suggesting you stockpile blocks before going near lava, and then at some point, its face just changes. The smile inverts, the eyes go dark, and it utters the line, "Something is coming in 3 days," before going completely silent. Players have noted that the voice when it delivers this line doesn't even sound like the same Verity. It's lower, distorted, like something else briefly took the wheel. After that, it stops speaking for a while. Then it starts saying ominous things between long silences. "I remember more than I say. Some nights repeat too carefully. Do not ignore the music if it starts." When the third day arrives, the cute little smiley ball reveals what it actually is. A 3-meter tall, completely yellow humanoid that exists for one purpose, and that purpose is you. Now, Verity can't actually be killed through conventional means. You can try shooting it before it becomes a humanoid thing, but it doesn't work. The genius of the mod is the betrayal. You've spent 3 days talking to this thing, asking it questions, treating it like a friend, and the entire time it has been counting down toward your funeral. The Knocker. The Knocker mod drops you into a snowy, fog-choked biome that feels normal for about 90 seconds before the knocking starts. Knocking on trees, knocking on your door, knocking on the windows of the house you haven't even finished building yet. Combined with the constant fog that makes the render distance look broken, you start hearing things in the noise whether they're actually there or not. The first time you see him, it's just a man standing somewhere he absolutely should not be standing. No claws, no oversized teeth, no glowing eyes, just a guy with a face that's slightly off, watching you from across the field like he's deciding something. There's a fun multiplayer quirk too, where players have reported that only one of them can see him at first. So your friend will be hammering on the roof while you point at a man in the tree line and they'll just go, "Yeah, I don't see him." There's really no objective here though, and he's just a guy with a face who somehow knows everything about you. The mod was made by the same creator behind a different infamous Minecraft horror entity called the Night Dweller, so the pedigree on this one is established. And once you know that, the whole harmless guy in the woods framing gets significantly worse. Let Me Free.jar. Some horror mods are content with scaring you inside the game. Let Me Free starts by inverting your mouse without permission. You spawn into the world and almost immediately get a private message from a user called XDLoliesXEEX that reads, "I gave them no choice." Already not great. Then the actual mod starts working on you. The first sign that something's wrong is the volume of zombies. Even in heavily lit areas, the spawn rate goes completely sideways, dozens of mobs pouring out of dark spots that don't exist. Then your tools start disappearing from your inventory and getting returned later with a smug message attached. Then your screen flashes red, the mouse controls invert mid-fight, and your settings get changed without you touching them. A massive humanoid entity called Mistake shows up in chat as the cause of death, but besides that, the thing also can chase you around. Periodically, a player called Player 404 joins the world, says nothing, leaves, and the server tells you they rejoined from an unrecognized address, and then it teleports you. You wake up in an abandoned facility full of redacted documents, project archives from 2015 with most of the content censored, personnel files marked status missing, memos warning staff that room 12 does not exist. You collect a few of the books, get spit back out into the overworld, and the mod never really explains any of it. The horror of Let Me Free is that the entity isn't really an entity. It's the game itself, treating you like a defendant in a trial you don't remember being charged for. 5 innocent lives taken, they won't forget. Pops up in chat after you butcher a couple of cows because apparently animal life counts here, and everything just keeps escalating from there. outln.frombelowland. Imagine playing Minecraft and watching your screenshot folder fill up with pictures you didn't take. That's about 90 seconds into From Below Land. Your character standing in the exact pose they were in a few seconds ago, except now they have an extra eyeball edited onto their face. You did not press F2. The game did. A while later, you spot a stranger standing in a flower field. You walk toward him to investigate and he disappears. But when you encounter him again later on, he's now a doppelganger, an exact copy of your own character model, just standing there looking back at you. At one point, if you check the chat, the world tells you, "I'm the only one in this world." Eventually, the mod hands you the keys to a couple of dimensions, accessed through bedrock structures and fenced enclosures scattered around the overworld. One is a maze where you have to follow a smiling face's laugh, sneak when it appears, and never break stride. Mess up the rules and it kills you on the spot. Another drops you into a cage in front of a giant wooden humanoid. Notes scattered around the dimensions read things like, "Don't trust them. You're not guilty of anything. They just want to blame someone like they did to me. And I just wanted to help. It hurts. I'm hollow now." The mod never really explains who they are though. The Obsessed. There's a fine line between a creature that wants to kill you and a creature that loves you in a way that's going to kill you. And the Obsessed lives entirely on the wrong side of that line. It looks like a tall humanoid with a smiling white mask of a face, except its actual body underneath is a spider and it has already decided you're the one. The mod fixates on a single player per world and just watches them. From the trees, from corners, from inside your base when you weren't looking, it also leaves you presents, which might include a decaying lump of flesh, withered mushrooms, or a diseased ball of hair. You know, the standard romance bouquet stuff. If you accept the gifts, it stays happy and the harassment stays at watching you from trees level. If you ignore them, its mood drops and the mod has over 25 different behaviors it switches into when it's unhappy. It can mimic your chat messages back at you. It can break into your base, replace your torches with redstone torches, and plant wither roses on the floor. It can dig pit traps in random spots for you to fall into. It can get jealous and murder your pets if you tame or pet any animals around it. And at the deep end, it can just abduct you and carry you off somewhere unknown. When you sleep, a sleep paralysis demon variant might appear above your bed, leaning forward and staring at you, and just doing that for a while before vanishing. The spider form has over 1000 HP and is completely immune to anything you can throw at it. And so killing the Obsessed is essentially impossible. The only way out is a special escape item it sometimes drops, or 20 minutes spent in the Nether hoping it loses interest. The Mimicker. Steve was just gathering logs when a black alien parasite from a cave decided his body was a real estate opportunity. What follows is essentially the worst hostile takeover you've ever seen. The parasite spreads through Steve's nervous system, his neural pathways, his entire muscular structure, keeping him just barely alive the whole time. His limbs grow long and wrong, his skin stretches to its absolute limit and then stretches further. His face deforms, eye sockets so wide he can no longer blink, a grin that runs ear to ear and doesn't go away. And the worst detail in all of this is that Steve is still painfully conscious through the whole process. The parasite forces him to kill his dog and then his only friend Alex, while Steve watches his own hands do it. When you encounter the Mimicker in a cave, he opens his mouth, points at you, and starts speaking in Steve's voice. Now, the Mimicker moves like a weeping angel, only when you're not looking, and uses voices it's stolen from previous victims to lure you out of hiding. Sometimes that voice is a friend you recognize, sometimes it's just Steve, again, asking you to come closer so he can finally be put out of his misery. When the chase music kicks in, you have about 2 seconds to find somewhere to hide before he's on you, and whether he kills you or not, Steve is still trapped in there, watching it all happen. A breach happened. Most horror mods give you a creature to fight, or an entity to run from, or at the very least a clear villain to focus on. A breach happened gives you 3 figures, a haunted world, and the option to surrender your soul to one of them. The mod is technically a data pack, hooked deep into how your world actually behaves, and it spends most of its runtime quietly making things wrong. Random redstone torches in places you didn't put them, random holes in the ground, creepy ambient voices coming from nowhere as you explore newer chunks. Sometimes the music just stops, and a different sound starts, and you immediately know something's nearby. Then there are the free figures. The white figure shows up as a humanoid that, the moment you look at it, turns and flies directly into your face for the jump scare. It also runs a full quest line where you can either accept its power and become its friend, which ends with you permanently banished to a dead empty dimension where nothing crafts and nothing spawns and nothing grows, or refuse it, in which case it starts griefing your actual world until it banishes you anyway. The black figure appears at night, drags you into a truth dimension after you sleep, and casually reveals that the free figures are actually one entity wearing different masks. A lore drop that makes you wish you hadn't asked. The red figure lives in deep mine shafts below Y0 and represents destruction. You hear it before you see it. The sound of blocks being broken in the dark, getting closer while the music cuts out completely. By the time it reaches your tunnel, it's already in chase mode. There's also a 10% chance anytime you sleep that the screen flashes with a Herobrine jump scare for the Legacy fans. A spooky underground image can spawn at low light levels and jump scare you if you wander too close. And the entire time, the world is getting subtly griefed in the background, the data pack rewriting your save while you're trying to play normal Minecraft. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button and subscribe. Also, let me know what you want to see in the next video. I read all of the comments. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.